What is going on, guys, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to episode number 3 of Moonshots and Meatballs. I am your co-host, Josh Sharp, along with Andrew Alt. Andrew, how you doing this week? I know we couldn't get together on our usual Monday day, but how you doing on a hump day, baby?
Yeah, had a nice little holiday break, got on a lake, saw some fireworks. Cubs have had me down lately, but can't keep me too down.
Yeah, I'm a little mixed emotion. Baseball wise, started off shaky, coming off that loss versus the Braves. You got the final game in the series. Look at the lineup today. See Guillorme hitting cleanup. I'm like, oh crap. We end up smoking the Braves.
Yeah,
Oh
7-1.
baby. Lindor with a 3-run bomb. Canna Morton we were wheeling on Morton. Like, I ain't afraid of the Braves feeling good in that large, but NHL free agent see was today, and Johnny Gaudreau just hit me with a gut punch a couple hours ago. So I've been in my feelings. But baseball wise, I'm feeling pretty good about this New York Mets team. Seeing the Braves up close, really not as scared about as watching just as closely as I was.
Yeah, there was a
I'm
moment where the Mets were only a game and a half up coming into this series. I really thought the Braves could come out of this
I just
series leading the division.
we could go. I'll touch quickly on the Braves, but I am not as scared as I was going into the series as I am coming out of the series. I knew kind of how their offense was. I just didn't know how much they struck out. I knew they
Yeah.
were struck out a lot, but they lead the league in strikeouts. They hit the fastball extremely well. They can't hit off speed pitches. And Matt Olson, to sum up the Braves, Matt Olson hits 2 home runs in the series. Those are his only 2 hits. He had 5 strikeouts in a row to start the series. Like, that's kind of the Braves lineup. So I think you're missing with us missing two of our all-stars this year, and Marte and McNeil and DeGrom coming back. I'm feeling pretty confident about this. After watching it in Atlanta, I'm pretty confident
Biggest
in
series of the year. Yeah, came out
so
looking good.
far. But Mets are not the hottest team in baseball. There
They
are
are not.
2 scorching hot teams right now. One of them being one is in 5th place, but is at 500 right now. And that is the first time since 2017 the Baltimore Orioles are 500.
Yeah, I'm currently watching them beat my Cubs 4-1 right now to extend the winning streak. And who saw this coming?
Nobody. I mean,
Oh,
it was all seller. I mean, here's a question for you. I think the answer is yes, because they're still in 5th place in their division. I don't think this is going to last, but it's a great story. Are they going to be the trade deadline's in what, 3 weeks?
yeah.
Do they sell? Or is a guy like Mancini gone? Because that's my number one target as a Mets fan, as a DH. I want Trey
Yeah.
Mancini because he's not going to be super expensive, but he's not like one of the ultra cheap guys.
It's a good piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
I still think they have to sell.
I may have a hot take, man, but with the Blue Jays seemingly imploding, why not? Why not? You got the young buck in there in Rutschman. He's hot. Cedric Mullins has been hot. You get another good player in there, guy at third base, or even I don't know, but they could really make a run. Why not?
They've won their last 9. They're gonna win 10 in a row because they're gonna beat your scrub of Cubs.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's been absolutely crazy. The last 7 days, I'm pulling up the stats right now. They're not hitting like insane the last 7 days. They're only hitting 236, but it's their pitching that's been phenomenal. I mean,
Yeah.
Jorge Lopez has been another animal, moving him from the starters where he was not a great starter. He's an all-star closer for you now. He can throw the fastball and the sinker very hard. He can get it up. He can get it up to triple digits at times. He's got good off-speed stuff. He's been killing it, really.
I mean, I don't usually watch much Orioles baseball, but
Neither do I.
everything I'm seeing from this series, the Cubs will get a run, and like they'll get their runs in the first 3 innings, and then that bullpen comes in and shuts it down.
I mean, the starters and bullpen the last 7 days, 2.19 ERA.
You don't gotta be scoring runs to be winning with that.
Yeah, and that's with one Rico Garcia pitched 1 inning and gave up 2 runs, and he's at an 18 ERA. You take that out, that's even better. I mean, there's only 3 guys above a 4 ERA. Most guys, I'm counting, most of them are at a 0. They've been fantastic the past week.
And the crazy thing is, these haven't even been like blowouts. They've been grind them out games. They've been winning by 1 run.
I mean, they beat the Angels. It hasn't been against ridiculously easy. All the games have not been against cakewalk teams.
Yeah. The Cubs aren't a cakewalk team. You're exactly right.
Not the Cubs, but it's definitely got you thinking. I still do think they end up selling, and I know
realistically, yeah.
And I know Toronto, they just fired their head coach today, or their manager. Head coach. I'm in that NHL.
Yeah, you're in that
hockey.
NHL mode.
Yeah, head coach. I mean, everywhere else is called head coach, but manager. They fired the manager today. Projected to be the best team in the AL. Really,
they were my hot pick to.
I had them going to the World Series, and now Charlie Montoyo, he gone. But here, you know what? We've seen this from a lot. There's been a bunch of manager fires this year, early in the year, and you know what? It fired the boys up. So I think the Blue Jays could go on a run here. I think after the All-Star break, it's going to be like, listen, our manager just got fired. We're starting the second half of the year. Let's kick it in the gear. We got the boys to do it. Let's go do it.
I think this goes one of either 2 ways, in my opinion, and that's either it fires up the boys and you get a Phillies response where they jump up and they get playoff contention, or they go Angels and just fall on the crapper.
I just don't believe they have way too talented to just crap out like the Angels. So I think I ultimately, sadly, I do think they sell, but this gives you a lot of hope. Like, your bullpen is phenomenal. You're going to have like your top here. I don't have their top prospects up right now, but let's get their top prospects up.
Side note though, if I would have told you that the Blue Jays would have a 23-year-old catcher with a 148 OPS plus,
Adley Rutschman,
I would have said they're in first place easily.
Well, Adley Rutschman is going to be a stud for them.
No, I was talking about the Blue Jays.
Oh, I thought you're talking
with Kirk.
I'm like, I know I'm pretty sure you weren't talking about Adley, because I'm like, I know Adley's starting to play a lot better, and he's going to be a stud for the Orioles. I mean, and you look at them, their pitching has been phenomenal. You still got, I mean, they have 2 guys in the top 5 in Grayson Rodriguez and Gunnar Henderson. Gunnar Henderson shot up the top 100 rankings in the midseason. He's going to be a stud. You got great pitching already. I mean, if you look, out of their top 7 guys in their prospect pool, 5 of them are in AAA, 2 of them are in AA.
So they're ready to go.
Next year so by 2024, this is gonna be a dangerous team. Next year, they're gonna be knocking on the door next year in this division. The AL East. Oh my! Every team's gonna be knocking on the door here. Yeah. It's crazy. That's why I think like a guy like Mancini, you can sell. You can get some. I think you're looking for a couple not veterans. I meant by or more older prospects that can just fill kind of roles. And you sign some veterans in the offseason, kind of fill the gaps. I think the Orioles. I think you sell this year, and I don't think you sell too many pieces. I think you can sell like a guy like
keep Mancini. The core, yeah.
A guy like, if somebody wants Odor, like, take him. I don't think anybody wants Odor.
I don't think the Orioles want Odor.
Exactly. If somebody wants Mateo, the only people I'm probably not selling is Mullins and maybe Austin Hayes. Not selling. Santander maybe. Like, it depends. You have to give me a good offer. But yeah, like I think this is not going to be sustainable for Baltimore, but I think this is a preview of what the next 2 years Baltimore is going to be back.
It's a hot take.
Oh, I live for the hot takes.
But you know what's even hotter than that take right now? The Seattle Mariners.
Now, one team I've said sell. Seattle should be a buy. This team is phenomenal. Have they won 9 straight as well, or is it
10.
more?
10 today.
They got to 10 today. I didn't see today's results. They're now second in their division. They're 5 games over 500. They're not going to catch the Astros, but I am
With that
curious.
third wild card spot, why can't they get in?
You gotta go all in, and it's going to be a dogfight between Boston, Toronto, Tampa, and Seattle. I think Cleveland's going to fall back. Listen, I had Cleveland surprisingly finishing 4th. I shouldn't have. I went in my prediction on my radio show. I was like, listen, I have Cleveland coming in 4th. They're probably going to finish higher because they always stick around. They always are around 500 because their pitching is just usually good.
Yeah.
And so they're sitting 1 game under 500. The White Sox have been a huge disappointment. I don't think they do anything this year. Another huge disappointment for me was the Tigers. I thought they could take another step. I thought they were going to be similar to the Mariners and maybe not as good, but like next year, you
There was a lot of Tigers chatter before the season.
I mean, Javi Baez has been one of the worst players in the league this year.
Yeah.
Just did not fit in well in Motor City.
No.
But this Mariners team is filthy. I mean, I think you got a future MVP, rookie of the year, going into home run derby now.
And the All-Star game.
And the All-Star. That's my All-Star, yeah. Julio Rodriguez. I mean, Ty France, absolutely. I think he's my biggest snub of an All-Star.
Yeah.
Jesse Winker starting to play a little better. You got JP Crawford, and Eugenio Suarez.
Eugenio Suarez has been having
a low-key pickup that came with Winker. Had a terrible season last year. This dude just hits bombs though. But he's hitting 240. Like if you got that's solid for him. You're like if you got 220 from him with you would have been okay with that. But he's hitting 240. He's got 16 bombs, 47 RBIs at a 2.2 WAR. You could use a couple from a guy like Adam Frazier. You can use a little more from. If Kelnick can ever turn it on for these guys, I'm telling you.
That's scary. It's scary.
And it's not just their batting. Like the Orioles, I think it's more their pitching's dominating and they're just scoring when they need to. They're dominant on both sides of the ball. Robbie Ray, Flexen's had a revival of his career at Seattle. Former Met, was really a 4-5 guy, like a mid-4s. Maybe a 5 ERA, long reliever, 5th kind of starter, and he's really changed and reinvented himself. Marco Gonzalez has been not bad for them in this winning streak.
A glimpse of George Kirby. George Kirby's going to be good.
Yeah,
he just got sent back down today though, but he got a little taste of the big leagues, and I think he'll be back up after the All-Star break.
I like Matt Brash for that team. I think he's going to be a good guy. I know you said Kirby. He I think it was because he got an option. I don't know if it was him or somebody, but somebody got sent down who's playing really well, but he had an option.
Okay.
So they sent. I think it was Kirby. Robbie Ray's still a stud, like I said before. Logan Gilbert got roughed up a bit, but he's still been producing for you pretty well.
I think that Robbie Ray signing just overall enhanced their starting staff because you've got a Cy Young guy coming in, showing you the ropes. These are a lot of young guys or maybe guys who haven't reached their full potential. And, you see him come in and the whole staff just gets better.
It moves everybody down. And he hasn't had the greatest year. He's sitting at a 3.15 ERA, 1.11 whip. He's had an okay year. He's not, but averaging 10 Ks per 9. That's not bad. That's pretty solid. But it just moves everybody down. And I to be honest, I think you go after the Mariners could go after a pitcher. I think you could definitely you can always use more arms in the pen. And I think maybe you go after a middle infielder of them as well. If there's like a second baseman available, Frazier hasn't been great. I think your outfield is fine right now.
Definitely.
Carl
Crawford been hot late. JP Crawford.
JP Crawford. Yeah, there's
Carlos Santana. That's what I meant.
But Carlos said, yeah, they traded for him, the first baseman. He's been that was a weird pickup. You're gonna get Mitch Haniger back sooner or later, so I think their outfield's good. I think maybe you add an infielder. I don't know who's gonna be available as an infielder.
You think they could get a Martin Perez from the Rangers?
I don't know if they
You think the
sell
Rangers
Perez,
sell?
but he'd be high. He'd be expensive.
Why not? Go for it.
That'd be a cool pickup. Be a very cool pickup. There's definitely what if you listen. I think if the Mariners want to go all in, I think because you're going in for the future as well. Because I think you want to resign a guy. I don't know if you go Perez. I think that's more of a veteran kind of team.
Yeah.
If I'm them, I go. If I'm going pitcher, I'm going in for Luis Castillo.
I like it.
I mean, this Mariners team. They're just a fun team to watch.
Yeah.
They really are just such a fun team. This is what the Angels should be with Trout and Ohtani.
This is America's team, man. Everybody loves them.
Everybody. I mean, you look at the rest of the league, the top teams, everybody's got beef with somebody. Besides, I'd say only maybe the Rays, but the Rays have been hurt all year. So it's kind of, they just haven't, everybody hasn't been like, quote, rooting for them because they've all been hurt. You know, in the NL, it's not really been, you could say the Marlins, I guess, but.
Yeah. I mean, everybody loves this. They're so fun to watch. Always
they're so young.
Energy.
Having Julio, because I think Julio could be an MVP type player. I think this dude,
easily. He's got 3.5 WAR almost halfway through his rookie season.
Yeah, he's so good. I think he's going to be he'd be the best, in my opinion, probably a top best or second best center fielder in the NL, and he's probably a top 3. Who besides Trout, who would be a better center? Oh, Judge is considered a center fielder now. So besides those two, who is a better center fielder? He's 21 right now.
21 years old, younger than us.
He's not. He's not. He's younger than me. When were you born?
2000.
Yeah. What? When
June
is
7th.
He is younger than you. He's born in December 2000. It's crazy. He's like 2 months older than me, or 3 months older than me. And this dude just rocks baseballs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't make you feel good.
No, not at all. Not at all.
When you see like for any sport, when you saw basketball, NBA, the draft, you're like, damn, those kids are our age. I remember the Devils had the first overall pick for what would have been my draft year. And I went to the draft party. They had the #1 pick. I was like, damn, I could be getting drafted, but here I'm celebrating the Devils first. So
yeah,
it's a shot to your ego, man. It is a huge shot to
definitely.
Like last year would have been for the NFL. That would have been our draft. Or this past year.
I'm doing meatballs and moonshots, baby. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Exactly. You know what? We're living the good life. We are living the good life. Moving on though. We got the MLB All-Star game coming up this week. It is the Monday, Tuesday, so we're probably gonna have our episode after that. What we're gonna try to do. So because we don't want to kind of, people are gonna be watching the All-Star game. You kind of want to watch. I don't want to wait for reactions after. And then next episode we'll go into our probably second half predictions. But what did you think of this All-Star roster? Starters, reserves, anybody you didn't think should make it? Any big snubs?
I think the biggest snub for me was Kevin Gausman. He's literally leading the AL in pitcher WAR, and I mean Alek Manoah is phenomenal, love him, but if you're gonna take anybody from that Blue Jays staff, you take Gausman.
Yeah, he was definitely huge. I think the biggest snub on the pitching side before they added, because Harper, Hader, and Jordan are not going to participate. So they added Garrett Cooper, JD Martinez, and who I think was the biggest snub in the pitching row was Carlos Rodon.
Yeah.
He's been a workhorse for the Giants team, who really has underperformed like I think most people thought they would, because
that crazy season.
That roster was just not going to put up 100 wins again. They all had career years. It was going to be very difficult for them to see. But on the hitting side, the biggest snubs for me, Ty France. I talked about it before.
Yep.
Guy's been his power numbers are not like overwhelming, but he hits 300. He gets clutch hits. He's solid OPS plus, solid OPS. Plays a good first base. Guy was in the conversation to start and
Yeah.
doesn't get in. Crazy.
Yeah. He was both of our picks. I mean, I do love Luis Ariz getting some love though. Some well-deserved love.
He definitely
well-deserved love.
Definitely deserved to get in. Another one. I gotta say, Brandon Nimmo. He's the best center fielder in the NL. Like, listen, he might not be if he was arguably could have got in just on his stats alone, being a regular outfielder and being the best center fielder. I think that's got to get you. I think you need at least a center fielder to get in.
I think they chose it right in the outfield in the NL. You know, my boy Ian Happ.
I do think I do like Happ. I think he's had a good year. I think he was definitely. I wouldn't say he was a lock, but
there was one thing I was kind of scratching my head at, and that was Trey Turner starting over Dansby.
Yeah, I did not. I agree.
I get the game is in LA at Dodger Stadium. You know, you want the home guy starting, but Dansby's been on fire this year.
He has. I'm looking back. I don't agree. One person I don't agree with who was put on Garrett Cooper. I didn't. Why not Austin Riley, man? I mean, I just saw this guy. I hate the Braves, but Austin Riley has been a stud for the Atlanta Braves this year. I think you could go. There's a couple other guys you can go in the NL as well. Brandon Drury, been very. Josh Bell. I think first base was really hard.
Josh Bell was a snub.
I think it was either between. I don't think you could have gotten him in. I think it was between Crone and Bell, and they ended up going Crone. Which, you know what,
the Rockies needed a guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So if and in the AL, I'm just like looking back over some of the snubs, like you said, Gossman, Michael King.
Yeah, he's been having a great year out of the pen.
Leading relievers in WAR, and didn't get in. That was pretty surprising to me, especially with if you look at the relievers.
That's probably the toughest position.
It was tough because I think Jorge Lopez had to make it. He's been phenomenal, and it was just nobody.
But cracking the All-Star team as a reliever that's not the closer is very hard to do,
especially with two, because Clay Holmes made it.
Yeah,
it's very because those are where people get their one guy. Do you agree? Here, I'll ask you: do you think that every team should have a person in the All-Star game?
No, because I mean, it takes opportunities away from people who deserve it. Like,
because the reason why is because the Detroit needed a person. Gregory Soto got in. He's having having a very good year. Gregory Soto, he's a great reliever, but Michael King is having a much better year.
I mean, and the A's pitcher who got in, like, I think he's got around a 4 ERA. Dude's gonna be an all-star just to be an all-star.
Yeah, that would have been Gausman.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's what hurts these guys comes arbitration time and contract negotiating. They're like, oh, well, you could have been a 2-time all-star. You have that in your leverage corner or not.
Yeah.
One thing that was really cool that I loved about this, Wilson Contreras getting to play with his brother.
Very cool. You know,
starting on the same team in the All-Star game.
Very cool. That's one of the bigger storylines. There was another storyline I'm forgetting, but that was the biggest one, and that was very cool to see. I don't think there's been two brothers starting.
I think the last time it happened was the Alomar brothers.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it hasn't happened in at least 20 years, I think. So
yeah, I think it was 92. So
yeah, that's 30 years now. But before the All-Star game, we have the home run derby, or should I say Pete Alonso's contest, because he owns that.
I don't like the Mets, but I love me some Polar Bear Pete.
Who doesn't love Big Meat Polar Bear Pete?
Yes.
But so far you got Pete Alonso, Juan Soto, Ronald Acuna, the machine Albert Pujols, and in today you got Julio Rodriguez, who you're just talking about. So
Yeah.
I worry. I think it's very cool to see Albert Pujols in that. He's been in it before. He's in his last leg last season. I just think he's gonna get rocked. I don't think he does not
Yeah.
have the bat speed.
There's no shot. No
He does
shot at all.
not have the bat speed that these young guns do. But so, two-part question: who do you think is you taking Pete Alonso or the field, and who would you like to see get the last two spots in the Derby?
As long as this man is still breathing and in a home run competition, I will never pick against Kyle Schwarber.
Oh, I forgot Schwarber's in. I did not mention.
Schwarber is in it. 28 bombs this year.
So you're going Schwarber.
I'm going Schwarber. I am a homer, but even though he's not even on my team anymore.
Yeah, I forgot. Schwarber isn't it. He was announced, I think, was it today or yesterday?
Yeah, I think it might have been yesterday, but
yeah, but I mean, he's leading the NL in home runs. He's got to be in it. He hits nukes.
Got robbed the year that Bryce Harper won it. Bryce Harper cheated and took it from Kyle Schwarber.
To me, as long as Pete Alonso's in this competition, I'm gonna go Pete Alonso. I mean, he's just taking batting practice. This is literal batting practice for Pete Alonso. He's just bobbing his head, having a good time. He's having the same guy who pitched to him. He's not even a coach for the Mets anymore. He's like, yeah, Jousey's still pitching for me because he was such a stud. I gotta roll big meat Pete. But who I'd love to see enter, 2 spots left. I would love to see Giancarlo Stanton. The dude hits absolute rockets.
You remember the last home run derby he was in, and the fan got hit, and there was like a picture on Twitter, and there was like a huge welt just because he hits the ball that
so hard.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot today. So there's only 1 spot now. Jose Ramirez is going to be in it. I like that.
I like that.
Dude I wonder what side he's going to hit from.
Yeah, you think he switches like in between rounds?
Imagine like after the break he switches to the other side, or like maybe if you give a guy an extra minute and after every pitch he has to switch. That'd be kind of.
I like it. That'd be fun.
So I'm interested to see how a switch hitter kind of approaches it, but I think Giancarlo Stanton would be a fantastic addition. I think Manny Machado would be kind of cool.
Yeah. My guy, I want to see Shohei in it again.
I just don't think. Well, Shohei hits bombs.
Yeah.
I think if it was farthest distance and a little more rest, I think he'd be better. But I'm not. It's tough. I just don't think he's built for like a home run derby like that. Underrated guy, I would love to see, and I think people don't talk about him enough as he's one of the best players in baseball. But he gets hurt. This dude hits bombs. That's Byron Buxton, baby. I would love to see.
Cool. I like that.
I want to see. So there's 1 spot left now with Ramirez. I want to see either Stan or Buxton get it.
Yeah. I like those picks. I'd be down for either of them.
All right. So
I think there's one thing that we can agree on though, and that is that the home run derby is the best all-star weekend like event of any sport. It's better than like the Pro Bowl mini games. It's better than the slam dunk contest and the 3-point contest, the skills challenge. I'm taking home run derby every day of the week and twice on Sundays.
Yeah, I definitely listen. I think besides the Pro Bowl, the 4 main sports definitely. I think the other attachment apart to the all-star game, a home run derby is fantastic. I think the dunk contest and the 3-point shot are cool. I think the other stuff kind of falls by the wayside, really.
Yeah.
And the more they mess with the 3-point competition, the more I'm like with the ball.
Like, none of the best dunkers actually do the dunk contest.
Exactly. I mean, you don't always get the best home run hit, but you get at least like some of the better.
The field this year is nice.
Very, and you like Pete a lot, so you will get dudes.
Yeah.
So you might not get all of the best, but you at least get some of the guys you want.
Definitely.
So and then at the NHL, I love like the hardest shots, cool. The shootout where they brought that back where you do a funny shootout. goalie competition. I fastest skater. So I like the
Did,
NHLs.
did they do like a 3-on-3 type of thing this year?
That is the NHL All-Star game. It's a
Okay.
3-on-3
Okay.
tournament. So I think the MLB and the NHL are the two best All-Star games as well, because the NBA there's no defense. And I know they have the fourth quarter, and then the Pro Bowl is literal snooze fest. Like
Terrible.
I
Hate the
don't
Pro Bowl.
I don't think I've watched it in years.
No.
So I'm kind of looking forward to the All-Star game. You remember though when the All-Star game used to tell you who got home field advantage in the World Series. That was terrible because this game
Yep.
all of a sudden meant so much, but like you had guys like that didn't care playing, like, and then you have other guys like this could define our season at the end. So
The
that
Cubs
was
played in Cleveland because the AL won that year.
crazy. I'm so glad they got rid of that. It was so so needed. Any any last closing remarks on the first half of the 2022 MLB season?
I mean, the Yankees are a tank. It's tough for me to see them fall off. They just keep winning.
I mean, they've lost now two. Are they gonna
Well,
lose
yeah,
to the
two in a
Reds?
row to the Reds. Two in a row to the Reds.
They're gonna lose to the Reds today. Oh no, it's 6-6. They tied it. Oh
I hate to
my!
say it, but the Yankees are for real.
They scored.
That kind of surprises
They
me.
scored 5 in the third, and then 1 in the 8th, and now it's in the 10th. Right now, tied at 6. But the fact that they lost that game last night was hilarious to me, given
Yeah.
up. But Yankees aren't going away. They're 13.5 up, and they're like almost 40 games above 500. They're almost around. I think they're 35 games above 500.
They're 13 and a half games up in a division where no
It's the
team
best,
has a losing record.
and it's the best division in baseball.
Yeah.
The two best. It's funny because the two best division in baseballs are both East divisions.
Yeah.
Which is I find very funny. But yeah. Any other remarks?
I was kind of surprised to not see like a favorite in the NL yet. Like, are the Dodgers gonna do it? Are the Braves gonna make a push? Are the Mets actually for real? I still don't know.
Definitely. I'm curious to see this isn't talked about much, but I think the NL, the Central, whoever win that, because I think whoever will get a wild card who doesn't win between the Cardinals and the Brewers, I think that's huge just for matchups wise.
Oh yeah,
Because
definitely.
they'll get the 3rd seed versus the last seed in the wild card. So like they'll have to play each other.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy. They're probably gonna play each other and then home field advantage. And then the winner of that goes and probably plays the number 1 seed. So I'm curious on how that goes because I don't think the Phillies end up making the playoffs. I really don't.
If Harper comes back in time.
Here's my thing with the Phillies. They're on right now. And they were off in the beginning, and then they're gonna get. This is a team that's when they're on, they're on. When they're off, they are off. That's why I hate being a home run or bust team. I think you can have a couple big swingers, big tank guys, but you need the table setters. You need the small ball guys as well, because otherwise they're just hitting solo shots. Otherwise, they got nobody to hit RBIs for. They're just nobody's on base. So I think you need that. I think this White Sox team, and this might be one of the most disappointing seasons in the last 10 years by a team. Because World Series favorite, one of the probably top 3.
They were clear cut. Like nobody
thought they'd lose that division.
That they would lose that division. Like that wasn't even a question. That was the one lock in divisions. Yeah,
because it was like the East is stacked. Anybody could win that. The West is a time with Correa going. You didn't know Pena was going to step up like that. You didn't know Alvarez was going to be an MVP type guy.
Yeah.
You thought, hey, maybe the Mariners take that step. You prayed the Angels would, and they look like they could, but
Yeah.
It just hurts as a baseball fan. The East, are the Mets going to take that step up, or the Braves going to? It was the Mets and the Braves. Central between the two teams, and then the West, it was a toss-up. It was the only division that was a lock. Listen, the White Sox are clearly the best team in that division. Who's going to come in second? And the fact that they are not even 500 is crazy.
Yeah, very huge disappointment. I think Tony La Russa is out of
Should be
there
fi-
a lot
should
sooner than
I think
later.
he should have been fired a month ago. I
Yeah.
think he's the worst manager in baseball. Not even close. But I think he's one of the biggest things holding that. And the manager doesn't account for much. A head coach manager, baseball is probably it has the least amount of effect compared to the other sports.
Yeah.
And he makes such a negative impact, in my opinion. And I know they've had injuries to deal with this White Sox team, but so has everybody.
There's no excuse.
The Rays have dealt with more injuries than anybody, and they're 8 games above 500. Water Franco is going to be out again. He got hurt again, which is terrible to say. But so, hope everybody enjoys the All-Star game. Hope everybody watches Pete just absolutely murder baseballs. Do not call the police. It is not illegal to murder baseballs like Pete Alonso. Like, we got it under control. Looking forward to the second half of the year. I really am. I'm very hopeful as a Mets fan. You know, it's been a great year so far for baseball, I think. Having just a lot of tight races and a lot seeing a lot of these teams be relevant, like the Mets and the Yankees be back in New York, having the cool teams like the Mariners, and just having a lot of tight races, you know.
Great storyline so far this year. It's been a fun season.
You're gonna get like another storyline come back. Tatis is gonna come back soon, you know. All these rookies. I mean, even guys like Bobby Witt has been phenomenal for the last place Royals. He's really starting to turn it on. So, got a lot to look forward to. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're trying to get this back on Apple Podcasts. I've been working on it. We're probably not going to be on Spotify anymore, but YouTube and Apple Podcasts, Moonshots and Meatballs, baby. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm
Love
Josh
you guys.
Andrew Alt. We'll see you on the other side, baby.